Welcome, everyone. So we're going to tackle one of the hot topics that's happening right now in special education with all of our schools being closed. And that's the tough conversation of what's going to happen when kids get back into school. There's a lot of talk about the words regression and compensatory education. Now, for those of you that don't know, I have a brother with Down syndrome. He's 42, so I grew up in the special needs community. I became a certified teacher, and I got several different degrees. And what really I found that I love to do is coach parents and teams on how to build IEPs that work for the real world. And our real world just got flipped upside down, right? Never have we ever experienced school closures like this. So to think that the old school rules, by old school, I mean the things that were in effect just a few weeks ago, are going to truly be in effect and help when we get back into school is really kind of being rose-colored glasses outlook. And we need to be in reality right now. And reality is that we're going to have to do the best that we can to help students stabilize their skills and then be ready to move forward when school gets back into session. Now, I'm not saying that you can't make progress right now at home. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is that if you think that waiting for school to get back in to make progress or waiting and having that discussion of, well, my child has regressed is going to truly assist you in getting the supports that are needed when you do get back to school, then it's really time for us to chat. Because right now, you need to be very clear. And when I say you, here, let me just clarify here. I don't believe in sides of the IEP table. We all sit at the IEP table together. That's exactly why I have the special education inner circle. It's a circle of us, and we're working together to make sure that a child gets an appropriate education, that they're prepared for further education, employment, and independent living. Okay. That being said, we cannot go 3 months from now back to school and have these ridiculous conversations of how much regression happened or what was and was not provided. We have to, be ready to not waste time when we get back into school. So the best way that we can do that is to document what a child can do right now. Okay? So what can your child do right now? Now, the best way to really get some concrete baseline data, and teachers, if you're watching, lean in and hear me because you can help. I can help you inside of the special ed inner circle. Whether you're a parent, teacher, admin, therapist, if you're listening to this, you're like, how do I do this? Come into the inner circle. The link's right here with the video. Okay. I'm going to help you do this. What you need to do is look at each IEP goal and be very clear of where baseline is right now. Where is baseline right now? Because what happened is everybody got ripped out of school and we didn't do any wrap up. We didn't do any end of the school year. Here's the data. So we're ready to move into next year. Or we're getting ready for the IEP meeting. Here's the data. Let's decide on the program next year, or let's decide on ESY services. We didn't get a chance to do any of that. And we can only make decisions as smart as the data that we bring to the table. Meaning, I don't want you to have to make opinion-based decisions. I always say, when you start the sentence with I feel, whether you're a teacher, a parent, therapist, I feel that this child regressed. I feel like he made progress when. I feel like that doesn't work for truly making good decisions and moving forward. We have to write it down, especially because how we feel right now is completely clouded by what's going on in our world. So when you go through the IEP goals, and I'm not saying that you have to, as parents, I'm not telling you to be the teacher at home like the teacher teaches at school. I'm not telling you to do that. What I'm asking you to do is to get baseline data on those goals by working with your teacher to gather that data. I'm not telling you to teach to make progress. I'm telling you to get baseline data. If you need help getting the baseline data, you need to be in the special ed inner circle. You can say, I need help right below here in the comments. I'll put the link right there. I'll tag you in it. You won't even have to look for it. You just click on it. When you click on that, you're going to get a free IEP checklist. And then I'm going to give you more information about the inner circle to make sure it's the right place for you. Here's why you have to make sure it's the right place for you. Inside of the inner circle, we don't play traditional advocacy games. We don't throw staff under the bus. We don't blame parents for things that are out of their control. We work together as an IEP team, no matter what your role is, to prepare a child for further education, employment, independent living, no matter what is going on in the world. To make those smart decisions together, we have to have data about where your child is at right now. Your child might make more progress than you ever thought possible. Your child may not. I can't help you make that decision unless you have that data. Now I want you to think forward to, 4 months from now. When you're sitting at an IEP table, again, I don't care what your role is, teacher, parent, therapist, you're sitting at the IEP table and everybody's trying to make decisions based on opinions. How does that feel? I'll tell you, it feels scary. It feels emotional and it feels out of control. Now, if you're sitting at an IEP table 4 months from now and you've got clear data of when the world fell apart and school closed, this is what my child could do. And now here we are 4 months later, and this is what my child can do. Now, what do we do to close this gap, to get back to baseline, to move a child forward? That situation feels good. It feels that you can speak with confidence, that you had all the information that you needed to make the best decisions possible. So again, I'm not asking you to be the teacher at home. I'm asking you to work with the teacher, and teachers work with the parents and get the baseline information so we can have smart conversations months from now. Because that's where I'm looking. I know that there's things that need to get done right now. I don't want your child to feel left behind. I don't want special ed teachers who are up at night crying because they can't reach their children through the screen, their students through the screen. Because yeah, that's happening. It's absolutely happening. The amount of teachers that are devastated that they can't serve their children at the level that they need service, it's overwhelming. The amount of children that feel left behind, overwhelming. So with that, I am absolutely encouraging you to get into the inner circle. Let me help you get the information that you need specific to your child or your students. That's why it's different than I'm out here on Facebook and we're live on YouTube right now too. And I'm giving you all the things that you need to do. And then the next step is to come into the inner circle so I can help you. So you can say, my child's reading goal is, and you can type it out for me, how do I get baseline data? Or what should I ask the teacher? Or should I even be worried about this goal? And teachers, you can talk to me inside the inner circle about what you're struggling with and how we're going to get baseline data and what you're going to do with that. Because what happens over these next few months, it's not the teacher's fault, it's not the parent's fault, it's not even the district's fault. These are unprecedented times. And we do not want to play the blame game, and we do not want to play the guessing game. So we go back to the basics. What's the baseline data right now? Again, you guys have questions with that? Let me know below. I'm going to give you a link to the inner circle. You're going to come in. We're going to work together and make sure that you feel confident for when the conversations are going to happen, because they're going to happen. And I'm going to tell you, if you take this step, you're going to absolutely be ahead in the conversation than the other 99% of the IEP teams that are going to be working off of emotions and feelings and guesswork. That's where you do not want to be. We need facts, we need some collaboration, and we need to be prepared for the transition back into school. And I know that sounds a far way away. I get that. But I have to know where your child's at right now. I don't want to know 3 weeks from now where they're at right now. Like, I'm not worried about that. I just want to know right now. Right now, what's the baseline for every IEP goal, and how are you going to communicate as a team, parents, teachers, admins, therapists, to make sure that baseline is clearly communicated. That is more important than sending a worksheet home and then the family having a meltdown at the kitchen table because the worksheet's not done. Get the data. It's going to make all of the difference. All right, guys, I'll see you inside the inner circle.